Thank you for inviting me along today and for this opportunity. I love talking about essential oils, especially oils and emotions. So I'm really excited to be with you all today. And I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully you can see that okay. You can see the first slide, supporting our emotions naturally. If you can't, or you can't hear me very well, let me know. Hopefully, we've had a few technical issues this morning with Zoom. Thank you, Zoom. So hopefully this is all going to go absolutely fine. I've been sniffing lots of oils just to keep me nice and calm and focused. But just to share a little bit about who I am. Can you all see the who I am slide? Give me a thumbs up. Yay, it's working. Hooray. So I'm Tanya. I have a background in science. I have a geology degree and a master's degree. I used to work as an environmental scientist and a hydrogeologist until about 2012. And then I decided to have a bit of a career change and follow my heart and follow my passion and get well. We just moved out to Australia, and with two small kids, actually, I was pregnant with one of them. And for the first year out there, we just always got sick. There was always something going on, and it was challenging. It was really challenging not having any family support. So I thought, okay, how do I get healthy? What do I do to support myself and my family? And I started investigating and looking into things, and started up Green Life Organics because I wanted to start up a business that was focused on healthy living and sustainable living, two of my greatest passions. And I started investigating things like, what are the ingredients in our skincare products and our cleaning products and in our food, and what do these additive numbers mean? And I think that was when I really started waking up to all the things that are in our products that we don't need, that are doing us harm, that are just really not good for us. So I started throwing out a whole load of stuff and started going down the natural route, and looked at different diets and raw food and eating more vegetables and different supplements, and realized that it just made such a massive difference to my own health and well-being and my energy levels. And I actually was introduced to essential oils back in 2012, almost been using them for 10 years, 10 years now. And I was introduced to them by a doctor who was an integrative practitioner, really excited to have found essential oils that were good enough to ingest, that he could recommend to his patients, and he was starting to see some really, really great results. So I wasn't really that interested in essential oils at the time. I was running 3 other businesses, but I thought it's another tool in the toolbox that I can use for myself and my family. So I started with the basic kit and started experimenting on myself and my kids, and was just blown away with how effective they were, how I could use them for so many different things, for minor first aid, for helping my kids to stay happy and well, and pain, if they hurt themselves, I had an oil for that. And I naturally just started sharing them with others, because when you find something that works so well, you just want to share it with your friends and family in the world. And before I knew it, it was just everything that I wanted to do was share these oils and teach about them, even though I was very reluctant in the beginning, didn't want to talk about oils in front of a group of people. But when you find something you're passionate about and you really want to help other people, then you kind of overcome some of your fears with that. So it's an honor to be here with you today, sharing something that's helped me a lot and that I'm really passionate about. So I also teach something called the aroma touch technique. Again, it's another fantastic tool to help support yourself and your family and your friends. And I now live in Bradford-on-Avon. My family and I were all quite musical. We had a trip up to Liverpool earlier last year, and it was so fun. And I really just want to embrace more fun and excitement in my life, and that's me jumping for joy. And how can we have more fun and vitality in our lives, and really do what we're passionate about and share that with others and shine our light more brightly. So for me, essential oils have been a massive tool in my life to help me manage my emotions, manage my well-being, and just create more happiness and joy in my life. So I'd love to ask you today, would you like to feel good? Would you like to feel even better than you feel right now? Would you like more happiness and joy in your life? And the amazing thing is that we have an amazing body that we are in control of, and it gives us signs that to teach us and get us on track when we sometimes veer off track. So what we'll cover today is we'll talk a bit about the science behind emotion and essential oils, the tools and habits for healthy body chemistry, practical emotional wellness steps that we can take right now. I will try and keep a bit of an eye on the chat. If I miss anything as we go, then I can come back at the end. But yeah, if you've got questions, feel free to pop it in the chat. Okay, and we are really created to function as a whole. You know, the spirit, mind, and body are inseparably connected, and they communicate at a really powerful cellular level. And when we can get our self connected, our spirit, our body, our mind connected, you know, it's really amazing what we can do and what we can achieve. And we're made up of intelligent cells that are wired to restore health. We're constantly wanting to get back to our natural state of health and vitality. And our bodies are just amazing in you know, such a brilliant design, naturally want us to be balanced and whole. So what are emotions? Emotions are information carrying molecules. And I'm not going to get too sciencey. One disclaimer I forgot to mention at the beginning is I'm not a healthcare practitioner. I'm sharing the knowledge that's helped me along the way. You know, take bits of it that will be helpful for you, but I always recommend, you know, seeing your healthcare practitioner, you know, if you feel that you need to. So this is just, you know, an extra tool that you can use. But just to give you a little bit of background in simplistic terms, so our emotions are information carrying molecules that bind to and react with cell receptors. They get into the cells and they impact our cellular function and behavior. And our emotions are actually processed throughout the body. And they go into the cell, they impact the function, and it's just amazing how they combine in the body to work at a real cellular level. And our body has 3 brains. So our mind is like a conductor, and it kind of directs the body to feel emotionally and behave physically. Our heart discerns the messages that our brain receives. And then the gut responds accordingly, and it distributes health or illness to the rest of the body. So it's, you know, this is something really profound when I realized that my thoughts and my emotions can impact my body in a really profound physical way. And just for an example, you know, when you know, when you're really anxious or worried about something, or you lose your keys, or you lose your child when you're out at the shops, you suddenly feel it in the gut. And it makes you, it can make you feel physically nauseous. It's incredible how those thoughts and those chemical reactions can then impact the body. And it can, you know, it can lead to headaches, it can lead to back pain. And so it's really important to be mindful of those little signs. Sometimes it can be instant and you get that gut feeling, but sometimes it can be little signs over a period of time that our body's saying, pay attention. You know, you need to listen because there's something that's not quite right. You need to do some more self-care. You need to have some less stress in your life. And if you don't listen to those little signs, then they'll get louder and louder and louder and louder until maybe one day you're flat on your back and you've really got a serious health issue. So listening to those little signs is so key. So it's amazing that, you know, our body is, you know, those brains are connected, and when they're connected, then that really can help us lead to wellness. So how do our emotions affect our beliefs? And this is something that really interests me and fascinates me. So our 3 brains instinctively process every life experience. So we have a life experience, and what can happen out of that experience is then we process it. So the mind might think, I've got to figure this out. The heart might think, I feel overwhelmed. And then our gut might think, oh, I'm stuck and I don't know what to do. So what happens after that is, like I mentioned just now, this can lead to a reaction, a physical feeling in the body. It can lead to some kind of head tension or some conflicted feelings or an unsettled stomach. And what happens after that is then we attach a belief to that. And quite often that belief can be, I'm not good enough, or I don't know enough, or I can't do this. So we attach a belief to that. So this is kind of the chain reaction. We have the life experience, we then process it, we then have a reaction in the body, and then that creates a belief. And it can be, a limiting belief that can hold us back on so many different levels. So if this resonates with you and you can think of some beliefs that you have that you might want to get rid of, what is it that you need to weed out? What limiting beliefs are holding you back? So the great thing is essential oils can help us with healthy emotions, and they can actually interact chemically in the body. I'm just going to grab some water. Really important to stay hydrated and drink lots of water. So essential oils are really chemically complex, which is why when we use essential oils, they can have so many different applications. And the great thing is that they can help anchor in healthy body chemistry, and they can support healthy cellular function, and they can help promote physical and emotional detox. And I've experienced this many, many times, and it's so powerful how they can do that. Sometimes it can happen quite quickly. Sometimes it can happen slowly over a period of time. But just to give you an idea of how powerful these oils are, 1 drop of oil contains 40 million trillion molecules. And these chemical compounds can actually get into every cell of our body in a matter of minutes, which I just think is fantastic and incredible. And this just gives you a little bit of an idea of what the essential oils actually are and what they look like. This is a peppermint leaf. That's a magnified peppermint leaf, and the oil sac. And because they're highly, highly concentrated, they can be 50 to 70 times more concentrated than herbs, or the plant from which they come from. And I love this fact about peppermint oil. 1 drop of peppermint oil is the equivalent of 28 cups of peppermint tea. So they're super strong, super concentrated. And the oil sacs sitting on the surface of the peppermint leaf, they're actually the volatile life force of the plant. And some people refer to it as the lifeblood of the plant. It helps to defend the plant and nourish and repair itself. So they're very, very powerful for the plant, but they also have incredible ways that they work in the body to support us as well. And just to let you know, not all essential oils are equal. There's a lot of variation of essential oils, and the regulation in the industry is very, very poor. So just be mindful of which essential oil brand you try. I recommend doTERRA because I trust them because of all the extra testing that they do. I've worked with many different aromatherapists over the years, many different therapists, and when they've tried the doTERRA oils, they've been blown away with the quality and the purity of the oils. So just for example, you can go to a health food shop and buy a bottle of essential oil that can have on the bottle 100% pure therapeutic grade, yet it can contain impurities. It can be a small amount of oil and have fillers as well. It can even be synthetically made in a laboratory, yet still have 100% pure on the bottle. So doTERRA wanted to create something that was completely pure, and I love the fact that they also source their oils from around the world, where they grow the best in the most natural and best environment for that particular plant. So that's really important for the potency and the chemistry. So just to give you a little bit of a background on that. And also don't get your oils off eBay or Amazon, because often they're fake oils, and don't do what they say they're going to do. Okay, so how can we use essential oils for emotional wellness? And just to give you a bit more background as well, why this is something that I'm so passionate about. I have, in my family history, there is a lot of history of mental illness. My dad was actually bipolar. His father actually committed suicide. I've had blips in my life where I felt really low, really, really low. And with what I've learned, I know that if I can support my body naturally, and I can really get myself out of that bad place using all the tools I can have in my toolbox, I can lead a happy, healthy life. And I know now to look for the signs. I know if my mood dips, I just think, right, okay, what am I doing with my self-care, or what am I not doing with my self-care that I need to look after myself? So I hope that some of the things that I'm sharing today can help give you some ideas of how you can feel supported as well. And the thing I love about essential oils is that they're dynamic. So they supply targeted support for your body, for both emotionally and physically. So they're changing intelligently as they interact with your body, which is quite incredible, blows me away. I'm going to talk briefly about the 3 different ways that you can use essential oils. We generally use them aromatically, topically, and internally. Just with the aromatic use, this is the fastest way that it can affect our mood. So quite often, if I'm feeling a little bit wobbly and unsettled, I will grab an oil. I will just pop a drop on my hands. My favorite oil for this is frankincense. And I just take a couple of deep breaths, and it just really brings me back to the present moment, to here and now. Often we can worry about what happened yesterday. We can worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. We can't change the past. We can't change what's happened. Tomorrow hasn't happened yet, and it might be absolutely okay. Right here, right now, everything's fine. I'm good. And really all we have is these now present moments. Let's live in the moment and enjoy every single moment. And the oils really help me to come back to now and help me focus. And quite often I can feel, if I'm going into sort of panic mode, fight or flight mode, then when I breathe in an oil, I can feel my whole nervous system calming back down again. And what's happening is there's changes going on in a chemical level. So that adrenaline and that cortisol is coming back down again. And more of those happy, calming hormones are being produced in my body. And I get my brain back. So rather than being in that fight or flight, I can't think straight, I've got brain fog. Okay, I'm safe, everything's fine. What do I need to do to move forwards in a calm way? What's the most important thing I can do now to get back on track, to live my purpose, to have a joyful life? And when you've got your brain in the present moment, it's so much easier to do that. And sometimes it can be just taking a quiet moment just to close your eyes and just to really take a couple of deep breaths and just be present and just quieten your mind and let your intuition come through, and let your inner guidance system come through, and get that heart and your brain and your guts aligned, so you can really just be present and listen to those incredible bits of intuition that can come through in those quiet moments. So aromatic, fastest way to affect mood. You're breathing them in, you're having those chemical reactions, the oils are going straight to your limbic system, encouraging the release of those happy hormones. And it's an incredibly powerful way to use them. So if I'm feeling any emotional, any sort of emotional unbalance, then that's my first go-to. One of the oils that's great for this is peppermint. Really good just for energizing, oxygenating, helping with brain focus, helps to get rid of mental fog. I love to combine peppermint and wild orange, again, just to help you get that focus and bring you back to the present moment. Really, really powerful for that. Another way that you can use the oils is topically. Really good just for self-repair. You can apply it on the back of the neck, across your forehead, on the bottoms of your feet. The oils many of them can pass the blood-brain barrier, so just amazing just to rub them on the back of your neck. I always recommend using a carrier oil, so don't ever apply oils neat. Use a carrier oil to help with any skin sensitivity and to help them absorb better into your body. Just remember, whatever you put on your skin goes in your skin, which is why I'm always very mindful about any skincare products that I use. You want to have something as natural as possible that's good enough to eat, because just remember, what you put on your skin goes in. You can also apply them over your heart area, insides of your wrists, behind your ears, over your stomach. So just really, really good for any discomfort, or just if you want to apply them like a perfume. Really, really great way to use the oils. One that's good for this is an oil called Breathe. It's actually air in the UK. Sorry, I forgot to change the slide over. But this can actually be really good for grief. It can also help support your respiratory system, but really good if you're having a panic attack or you're feeling overwhelmed. It can just help bring you back again and just help oxygenate your lungs, help bring you back to the present moment. All of the oils have an emotional aspect to them, and yeah, this one's particularly good for grief. Okay, the third way that we can use them is internal. So this is really good for helping to balance chemical reactions in our body. I wouldn't recommend this for any other oils. Most oils you can't ingest, but these oils, many of the doTERRA ones you can. Just check the labels because you can't ingest all of them. Some of them you can put straight on your tongue. Don't do that with the hot, fiery, spicy ones. Some of them you can put in water. You can also get a little veggie cap that you can then use to take internally. I love using them in food, especially raw chocolate. Really good just for supporting us from the inside out. So we can put the oils on topically. We can also help use them from the inside out. A good oil for this is the oil of, it's a blend of oils called On Guard. It's our protective blend. Contains oils such as cinnamon, clove, rosemary, eucalyptus, wild orange. Really good for supporting the body's immune system. One that I never want to run out of because it's just so good when there's bugs and things going around at home. That one goes straight in the diffuser and on our feet and in hot toddies. But it's also the oil, so physically it protects us from seasonal threats. Emotionally, it protects us from environmental threats and helps protect our energetic boundaries. So very good if you're feeling, if you're sensitive to other people's energy, or you live or work with somebody who's particularly grumpy and negative, then using an oil like this one, you can pop it on and it can just support your energy field and keep your energy safe. And when I first heard that, I thought it was a bit weird and woo-woo. And then I tried it and it was so powerful. It works so well. So it can really protect us against feelings of vulnerability. And it is an oil that can also be ingested. So that's just a bit of an idea on the different ways that you can use the oils. Now I'm just going to have a look and see. So Teresa's popping the details about the ingredients. That's great. Yeah, so it just shows you what the different ones are in there. So some of the oils are single oils, some of them are blend oils, some of them are specifically being made to support us emotionally. But really have a think now, what is it that you want to plant? What emotions do you want to bring in more of? And we'll just talk a little bit about some of these oils that can help support that. I just want to share a few of my different favorite ones that I use often for emotional support. And when you've been using oils for a while, it becomes quite intuitive. Like, I'll get drawn to a particular oil, and that's my intuition saying, right, I need that oil right now. Most of the time it's frankincense, but a lot of the time I'm drawn to some of these other oils as well. I've got teenagers. My teenage daughter is 13. Her favorite oil is rose, and she'll pop it over her heart, and it just helps her to feel more loved, bring some love in. Really powerful oil for the heart. My son is 17. He loves lavender oil. He generally uses that actually when he gets headaches, but it's a really nice calming oil. I haven't got that on the slide there. So some of these are single oils, some of them are blends. doTERRA have got a great range of oils that help support us emotionally. So that's most of the blends that you can see on there. I love neroli. I pop it on in the morning and just on my upper lip and just smell it in, and it's just a really lovely oil of happiness. So I have a morning or a daytime ritual where I just bring the oils into pretty much every hour of my daytime routine. Especially in the morning, just to help wake up my brain, help me get focused, help me feel ready for the day. give me emotional support. A lot of us like to refer to frankincense as a hug in a bottle. And there's a lot of times throughout the day when we need some extra hugs, right? And if there's not anybody there, then Frankie's been really supportive for me, especially over the last couple of years that have been a little bit crazy. So I would love to right now just invite Teresa onto the call just to share some of her experiences with some of these oils. So I know they've helped you a lot as well, and you've got some really great stories. So is that okay for you to share, Teresa?
Yes, I would love to just share a personal example. So I'm recovering in a sort of recovery journey from chronic fatigue. And one of the typical things for people with chronic fatigue is their nervous system has got stuck in fight or flight as a result of whether it's traumas, stress, and a lot of other things that have happened in their life. So I can really overreact to a stressor. So something that someone else might see as quite small, my system's very jacked and can become overwhelmed very quickly. So I have to do a lot to support my nervous system on a daily basis. And I use a lot of the ones that are in this picture. And I just wanted to bring it to life as almost what would it look like as a daily habit. So I'm waking up, I'm coming downstairs, putting the kettle on, and as part of that kind of start the day thing, I'm oiling up. So I'll grab the frankincense, and I want to actually, you guys can see me, can't you? I can't see myself, but can people see me?
Yes, we can.
Right. Okay. So I just want to show you how I do it, because I think it just makes it visual. So I grab the frankincense and I'm grabbing a couple of drops. And again, only doTERRA, because 90% of frankincense is adulterated. So instead of it being a neurotonic, it'll be a neurotoxin. So don't use a different brand in this way, like I've just demonstrated. I'm going to grab Copaiba. So Copaiba works on the cannabinoid system, like the more famous CBD oil, which is calming for the nervous system, but it interacts with the CB2 receptors directly. I'm closing my eyes to concentrate on that little snapshot of science, but the Copaiba interacts with the CB2 receptors directly. So these two things I'm taking in the morning and as I go to bed as a daily habit to support my nervous system to be calmer so I can react better to things that are happening in the day. So I'm grabbing that, and then I am going to take something grounding. So there we can see balance and adaptive. So balance could either be a roller, which means it's already diluted with the carrier oil, and I can use it like a perfume. See, and Tanya talked about when topical use, how you can put it on the back of your neck. So I can just apply that around, and the aroma is so important. So having a smell of that from your wrists and really taking the chance to bring that tree energy. The balance has a lot of trees in it. One particular one's called black spruce, but it's a grounding, it's put together overall to be grounding. And when you're looking at a blend like balance or serenity or any of the blends that are here, they've gone through hundreds of iterations before they're finalized, and they're put together not to create like a pretty perfume smell, but to create a desired outcome. So this balance is really about grounding, the serenity, calming, citrus bliss, uplifting, and the adaptive for stress. So I might grab in the beginning of the day as part of my sort of just getting started moment, the balance. It could be and adaptive or adaptive, but I tend to grab and make sure I've got one of those on. And then I'm going to pop in the diffuser. So I'm in the kitchen right now and I've got the diffuser just behind me, but I'll pop in the diffuser what I think I need. So it might be some singles, like Tanya was mentioning, there's like wild orange is a single, or it might be a doTERRA blend. So we can see sometimes peace for anxious feelings or forgive for letting go. So I'll put in the diffuser what I think I need in that moment. So that bit's very variable what goes in the diffuser, but consistent is the frankincense and Copaiba. Consistent is something grounding, hydrating. adding a citrus oil in your water, like the lemon, and lemon is really uplifting for the mood as well. So something hydrating. And, you know, that's not too much, you know, for me, that's just sort of part of my basic setup. And then as the day progresses, things happen, and then you're feeling different feelings, and then you've got your tools that you can lean into at your fingertips. And if you're out and about, like in my home, I've obviously got my oils all around me, but you might keep something like your adaptive in your handbag, or your balance in your handbag, so that you're able to just apply. Like, I'm going to a meeting at the school later, and I think it will be quite emotional talking through some issues with my daughter. So I'm going to take an oil with me to support me in that process. The flowers are listed there, and Tanya mentioned neroli. I'm going to pull neroli out and add another little detail. It's really good for elevated cortisol levels. So I love doing the neroli moustache, like Tanya said, because and I didn't know why I loved neroli so much, but when I read about that scientific aspect of elevated cortisol levels, I was like, that's why I like neroli so much. So I think that's all I'll kind of share. I just wanted to share how I try to do things on a consistent basis to support my nervous system using these different blends. And that takes me less than 5 minutes to give myself that little bit of emotional setup for the day. But it is creating a new habit, but it's a fun new habit. I've really enjoyed getting to know them, and I'm really grateful to Tanya, who introduced them to me and told me how 1 drop of peppermint was 28 cups of peppermint tea, and that got me really wanting to know more and wanting to bring in another set of tools into my natural kind of healthy living toolkit. So yeah, I think that's all I'll share on this slide.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. I love hearing your stories, and especially in how the oils have helped you in so many different ways. Really, really powerful. So thank you. Some great tips there. And like you say, it's just creating those habits and yes, bringing it into your daily routine. And then when you see the benefits of that, it's just really quite incredible, and it just keeps you going with it.
Yeah. And I'm going to say one more thing. I'm just looking at those flower oils, and here are my flower oils, just the same ones that you've got pictured there. But I've gone through a few moments in the last few years that I will use the word that were traumatic, that really brought so much fear into me, and layering in those flower oils. And when I say layering, it means basically, applying them and then applying the next one. All of them I love and appreciate so much that I can kind of benefit from them just in this little bottle in my fingertips like that.
Thank you. It's really powerful. Okay. Some of you have asked some questions about the blends, so I will share the ingredients of the blends. These are ones that have particularly been put together for emotional support. And it just kind of gives you an indication of what sort of emotions they can help with. These come as roller bottles as well, which are just a really lovely, convenient way of having them handy in your handbag when you need them. And they're so powerful. Like, I was blown away the first time I ever smelt this oil, Forgive. I won't share all the details of the story, but it took me straight back to a moment of who I needed to forgive and why. And it was just incredible, and just started crying instantly in that moment, and really helped me to heal that trauma. So yeah, that's just a little bit of information on the oils that are particularly helpful for different emotions, and they're specifically blended for that. But there are also many single oils that you can use as well, and we've touched on some of them.
And could I just add on this page on the blends, and if you've got children, some of them are going to love mum or dad applying the oils, and some of them are going like, don't touch me. And during lockdown with the homeschool and stuff, we had so many times when big anxieties and meltdowns in the kitchen. My daughter's in the don't touch me category. So I could just quietly work in the background. I could just put the peace in for anxious feelings, and I put the forgive in, which is good for irritation, because I found myself getting really irritated with her, and then we would clash and there'd be not a great scene. So you can kind of set the mood around your family if they're not so open themselves. Just set a little intention using the oils to support you to help transform our atmosphere.
Thank you for that, Teresa. Okay, I'm just going to move on to the next slide and just talk a little bit about supplements and how that can really provide such great foundational support, and a little bit about how gut health is so key for our emotional well-being as well. And I know personally, if I let my diet drop, or if I forget to take my supplements for more than a few days, or I'm just really not looking after myself and not having good nutrition, I really notice the difference in my mood. And they are so key and so linked. So, there's different ways that we can support our gut health. I would highly encourage, looking into fermented foods. That is a great way that you can bring in lots of good gut bacteria. And just having a healthy, balanced diet, avoiding the processed foods, and, just really concentrating on lots of vegetables and lots of good nutritious food. But it is difficult these days to have a properly balanced diet and get all the nutrients that we need out of our food unless you're growing them in a good location organically. It is very difficult. So supplementing for most of us is very important to make sure we're getting all the nutrients that we need. So doTERRA do supplements as well as the oils. I just wanted to touch on that and let you know. We've got some other collagen-based supplements that are coming in a bit later on in the year. MetaPower is something that everyone's getting very excited about in the US. It's not quite here yet, but it will be soon. And also just a little bit about gut health. And I might invite Teresa to come back in and just share some of her experiences with this. But in terms of gut health, having a good probiotic is really important. We actually run a gut cleanse twice a year, March and September. I'm happy to share some information about that for anybody who's interested in joining us. And we share lots of yummy recipes, family-based recipes I've tried and tested on my kids, and just look at different ways that we can support the gut. But Teresa, do you want to just touch on that a little bit? Because I know it's helped you a lot with the your emotional support and gut health.
Yeah, I was just going to share that I was given a diagnosis of anxious depression, and the psychiatrist wanted to put me on antidepressants, and I personally wanted to at least pursue a natural approach to give. I asked them to give me some time, and I'd never looked into it because it was the first time I'd had a mental health diagnosis. But I went off and I Googled heal depression naturally, got a book through the post very quickly, and it made me connect nutrition and gut health with mental health for the first time. So I saw a nutritionist and she did a stool test. And I just wanted to share that in my stool test, I had high levels of parasites and high levels of candida. And this is not uncommon. A lot of people have parasites and not realize, and a lot of people have candida, and that affects brain fog, it affects mood, anxiety. And so I'm not saying I didn't have situational things. I had lots of things. I won't bore you with my details. There were a lot of stressful external factors, but I also had going on inside my gut. And Tanya mentioned earlier that 90% of our serotonin is produced in our gut. So all I would say is if you were very serious, and I decided that I was going to be very serious about supporting my mental health, because I had a deadline. I had the psychiatrist in a month, and I wanted to have felt like I'd made some progress and improvements in my mental health, because I felt a lot of pressure from them to do what they wanted me to do. And so I'm not suggesting or judging anyone that chooses a medication path. I'm just saying that this is, for me, the moment in my life when I made that strong connection to gut health and mental health. And I just really encourage anybody that is working on their emotional health and mental health issues to love their guts and to try to minimize their sugar, because that's feeding parasites and candida, And these 2 cleanses that I did with the doTERRA cleanses, I saw a kinesiologist. If anyone's been to kinesiologists, you know they do muscle testing. And I had the stool test as one lot of evidence, but also the kinesiologist. And after doing the gut cleanse, I would test strong with the muscle testing that it had been effective. So I sort of saved my money on not doing more stool tests, which are hundreds of pounds. And I spent my money giving my gut good probiotics, giving the digestive enzymes, and the GX Assist, which is helping to kill the bad stuff, the parasites and candida. So this is where I focus my energy on, and at least twice a year doing a cleanse to support the ongoing maintenance of good gut health. So yeah, I'm passionate about joining in those cleanses when Tanya is running them.
Thank you. Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and yeah, you learn so much from each other as well. And for me, it made a massive difference because I had IBS for almost 20 years, which again was most likely parasite related and candida related. No specialist knew what was going on. But after I did a gut cleanse, it made a massive difference to my food intolerances, to my emotional well-being, and it just kind of reset my system. So, and it's always good to have a reset. So we try and do it a couple of times a year, and just create some new healthy habits. That's the whole purpose behind it, is to, you know, give our body a good clean out, but then also create some new healthy habits that we can carry forwards and learn some new recipes and learn from each other. So we'll share some details about that. Just checking how we're doing for time. Almost done. Just in terms of moving forwards and support, and you know how you can find out more about the oils. We have a book that we absolutely love, which is focusing on emotions and oils, and so each oil has an emotional aspect to it that can support us in different ways. So when we're drawn to a particular oil, it's really interesting looking at the emotional aspect and seeing how that resonates and how that can really support us. I'm actually doing a challenge at the moment with blue tansy. One of the emotions that I wanted to work on this year was procrastination. And when I looked up in the emotions book what oil could help with that, blue tansy came up. When I read about blue tansy, I'm like, I so need that oil. Blue tansy is unfortunately one of the more expensive oils. There are some other oils that can help with procrastination, but this is one that I was particularly drawn to. And the book gives you an affirmation that you can then use with the oils and a visualization. And if you can incorporate that into your daily routine, amazing shifts can happen, because what you're doing is you're getting your subconscious brain on board and you're just helping to rewire it. And it just can really give you that driving force. And they work like a catalyst to help speed up whatever that is that you want to work towards. So this is my goal for this month, blue tansy, overcoming procrastination. And I have made some really good progress so far. So I'll keep you posted on that. But this book is great for looking up how the oils can support us different ways emotionally, whether it's looking at something physical in the body or an emotion that that you want to get rid of or bring in more of. There's an app as well, and again I can send the link. There's another app that I love, the Droply app, and I'm happy to share my link so you can access this for free. Really good for physical health and emotional health. And it's just, yeah, you can look up different health concerns and different ways to use the oils for cleaning, for cooking. I noticed in the chat there was a question about animals. Yes, you can use these oils on animals. Some of them you have to be very careful with or avoid. Animals are very sensitive, like children. So when you're using the oils on children or animals, just you need to use a tiny amount. And generally with animals, it's typically best, I'd say, rather than using the blends, using the single oils, just so you can be really targeted, really specific, and just go with caution. I have written a blog about oils and animals, happy to share that as well, that can give you some different ideas. But in terms of calming and skin issues and all those sorts of things, then they can definitely help. Okay, and a few more self-care tips. You know, how can we nourish ourselves? How can we create some more healthy habits? How can we anchor in these healthy habits? And oils are great as aromatic anchors to just remind us of you know, how we want to feel, and just bring in these healthy habits and give us the encouragement to do that. And just starting to be consistent with it, and just you're telling yourself these positive affirmations, you know, the affirmations like I'm enough, I'm whole, I'm healthy. You just look at the words that you're speaking to yourself with, be kind to yourself. So some tips here of how you can you stay well and healthy and happy. Make sure you're drinking enough water, make sure you're exercising and moving, resting, meditating. If you're drawn to that, just having some quiet time. How can you improve your diet? How are your relationships? Have you got good relationships, or are some of them a bit toxic? Getting out and getting some sunlight, and just being kind to yourself, you know, saying nice things to yourself. You know, sometimes we're really hard on ourselves, and you know, we can be up here thinking about stuff and bringing in these beliefs and telling ourselves that we're not good enough. If you just come back to your heart space and just remind yourself that you're loved and that everything's okay. Just take some deep breaths, breathe in some oils. It can just be so transformational. So yeah, a few tips there that I hope will be helpful.
Tanya, could
yes.
I just add one on that? Not adding one, but emphasizing one. It's sort of in the rest category, but I'm going to use the word sleep. So people will remember if they've slept badly, they feel grumpier, right? Like you always feel worse when you have slept better. And sometimes you're thinking, oh my God, there's so many things to do. Where do I start? If you were going to start with one thing, I feel like sleep is such an important one to really focus on if you're having, I suppose I'm going to talk about low mental health and low mood, not low mental health. Sorry, my words getting mixed up, low mood. I feel like sleep is so critical. And the serenity, so my case was that I couldn't fall asleep or stay asleep for about 4 years. It's not an exaggeration, because my nervous system was so on fight or flight. So this was before essential oils. So the Serenity blend, which was in the image that before in that row of blends, that in the diffuser has been together with these Serenity capsules that has herbal things in it like passion flower and L-theanine. But that combo of those little capsules and that blend of oil in the diffuser, and copaiba, because that calms the nervous system, has really helped me that I fall asleep and I stay asleep normally for years now, years. But I had many years where every night was bad sleep and every day I woke up feeling awful, and it's so bad for a low mood. So I just would say, if you try to pick out a couple of things that you might do for yourself that you're actually going to take action on, and sleep is just such a big one for me to encourage people, if they're going to start somewhere, that's such a good one to focus on improving. And you can improve it. Like, you can improve your sleep. You're not stuck with that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Teresa. I had really bad sleep issues as well. I used to just lie awake thinking about stuff. My brain was whirring sometimes for hours and hours. Now I use cedarwood. So everybody's different. Copaiba works best for Teresa, and sometimes I use copaiba, but for me, cedarwood every night, I just put a little bit on the back of my hand and I breathe it in, and it's just a trigger for my brain just to calm down, and literally I'm asleep in minutes. Yeah, it's just been profound, and not having enough sleep is not fun at all. But you might find that, you know, lavender helps, or there's a blend called Serenity, cedarwood, copaiba, you know, there's different oils that work better for different people. So and definitely look at some options there. Sleep is very, very important. Okay, alrighty, so you can fill a bucket drop by drop, you can clear your mind thought by thought, you can heal yourself moment by moment. And it's just about making those small steps, those baby steps. And, you know, you're here today to learn to empower yourself. You know, how can you create in these new healthy habits? And sometimes it's just, you know, tuning in, having that quiet moment, tapping into your intuition, and just asking the question, you know, what do I need next to help my body heal, or to give myself more energy and vitality? So we'd love to be able to help you more. If you're interested in essential oils, if you want to get started, or if you just want to try something and see if it's going to help you, you know, happy to help with that. We have regular workshops. We have, I'm based near Bath. I have regular events locally. We also have regular online stuff. But for those of you, if it's okay to share this now, just, for those of you that want to get oils, just a few options. A lot of people start with a kit. Some people just start with a single oil. I know it's an investment, but it's an incredible investment for your health and well-being. Happy to jump on a call and chat with anybody if you're like, oh, there's a lot of information, I'm not sure where to get started and I just want to start with one oil, then we can help you with that. But I want to let you know about the other options as well, because they are more cost effective. And I can send around some information afterwards so you can have a look and really tune into what's right for you and what you might want to start with if you want to embrace essential oils and bring them into your life and have them as a tool in your toolbox. So just because we're so passionate about helping people, we offer a lot of amazing ongoing support. So please don't go out and buy these oils online, because you won't have the support. We're passionate that we want to help people once they've got that, also they know how to use them. So we're there to support you. So I've got some links on the next slide that I'll share, and I can give some information to Bedria to send around afterwards as well. But if any of you do want to get started and you're looking at one of the kits, then we have some free emotions books that we can give to people to help you on your oils journey. So that's for this month. Just wanted to be able to offer something, and this is just for you guys. This is just exclusive. We don't usually do this, but just really loved being able to come and share with you today. I'm really honoured that you've invited us. So I want to be able to give back and help and support as best we can. And I've just got a few links on here that again I can send around afterwards, but if you want to stay in touch or you want to find out what we're doing, we have a Facebook group, and I know a lot of people have left Facebook. I'm working on that, but we also have some Telegram groups. So I can share the links for this so you can connect, and if you want to just jump on a call and get in touch and go through questions, or you just want to try a few oils to start with, we're happy to help you with that, whatever's going to work best for you. And I think that's my last slide. So yeah, just want to leave you with the question of how you're going to nourish yourself, and I really hope you've got some good takeaways from this talk. And yeah, just grateful for you guys and what you're doing in your community. And what I love about all of the crazy times that we're in is how we've all come together to support each other, to help each other, to figure out a new way forward in this crazy world that we're in, and just bring in more natural tools. That's the way forward. I see essential oils, plant medicine, herbs, all of these things as natural healthcare for the future. We can't really rely on our NHS system at the moment. It's struggling in so many ways, and I want to avoid having to need it as much as possible. So for me, this has been an amazing tool that I can use at home for myself and my family, to stay out of doctors' surgeries and hospitals as much as possible. I know they're there for when we need them. I don't mind waiting many hours, but that's another topic for another day. But yeah, thank you.